enough yapping about Amazing Grace, alright? We're not playing that piece of shit game. We're playing a much better game. A game that everyone loves, and that's why it has more views than Amazing Grace. Just kidding. It's where is it? It's Maitetsu. But anyway, last time we played, we finished up Kisaki's route, and I thought she was cute and very good character. Yep. I made here's the thing, right? I may or may not have I may or may not have gone through a bit of I skimmed through like some of the bathhouse scenes with the 18 plus patch on. Alright? Because here's the thing, right? It was very easy to patch Maitetsu, and which means that it was very easy to unpatch Maitetsu, which is why I did it. But considering that it was after Kisaki's route, when I did it, you know, all I'm saying is that I wish Makoto was in one of the scenes. That's all I'm gonna say. But we aren't talking about Makoto or Kisaki. We don't care about them. Their tits are too big. We only care about the lolly characters. And I was trying to transition into fucking Nagi and Fukami. We only care about Nagi and Fukami, and that's why we're doing their routes. So, let's go.
Ma, まだ押し足りないのですか？運転前にも散々押されたではありませんか。
練習と本番はまるきり別たい。
あ、
A smile halfway between friendly and forced crosses her face. You know, it's crazy that Nagi and Fukami don't get separate routes. They are together. They are dating Sotetsu together. But Makoto and in Hibiki, nah, they have to be separate. Man, if only Hibiki and Makoto dated Sotetsu together, we wouldn't have that scene in Makoto's route. Hachinoku is much smaller than Nagi, but she accepts her innocence just the same.
確かに練習と本番はまるで別物ですね。同じように走ったつもりでも再現できませんでしたか。
Dexter, do what a mod is meant to do. If the smoke enters, they press the buzzer immediately. That will cause an emergency stop while maintaining the furnace as we go check the smoke. Or that was the original plan, at least.
せっかく録画までしたのにな。
We'd installed a small movie camera, but we borrowed from Paulette and set it up in front of the stove.
とにもかくにも精査しよう。流入問題を解決せねば観光列車は実現できん。
I wonder
Hmm.
if Nagi Fukami's route also gets three chapters, right? We bought bread and soft drinks at the station store in order to save time on food. However, even with the extra time, we didn't end up achieving our intended goals.
難しいな。形のないものを追うというのは雲をつかむような話。とはよく言ったものだ。
Even so, we have to catch the smoke. So Valkyria, but I should make the town isolationist. Dexter, you can make one greeting isolationist. You do realize you can do multiple greetings, right? Until we find a way to prevent the smoke leakage, 8620 and the passenger car can't be used, causing us to lose a big weapon against the factory.
ともかく、今日話し合ったことを整理しよう。
I'm saying for the description. Yeah. The description should be the... I already talked about this, Dex, so you don't need to bring it up again. The memo pad in my pocket is gone. It must be in the crew bag. Oh.
やはりここか。
Confused at seeing something unfamiliar, I quickly remember I was holding onto Paulette's camera. Looking at the passenger car with no signs of leakage, it won't give us any information.
しかし、ヒントくらいは見つけられるかもしれん。
We think long and hard, but can't come up with a plan. Changing our perspective may not be a bad idea right about now.
これで見れればいいのだが。
Law is for world building. Yes! I insert the card into the slot of the PC and start playing back the video.
ああ、よかった。ちゃんと映っているな。
はい。これで録画してあるから、カメラいじらないでね。
They're using this CG again.
わかったばい。いじらんばい。
Unfortunately, I can't use it.
深見ちゃん、くれぐれもお願いね。
I've already used it as the thumbnail.
はい、わかりましたです。ならまた後で。
It'll be a bit before it runs. The setup's going to take a while. That said, we probably won't learn much from staring at a stationary passenger car. I check the scenery outside the window as I fast forward. Ah, there it goes. I freak out and let go of the mouse button, allowing the playback to resume at regular speed again.
Nagi-chan!
In the screen, Nagi pulls her shirt and ties the hem. Her belly completely exposed. I get curious and rewind a little. Nah!
こうやって引っ掛けて引っ張り合って勝負したとよ。本当にやったんだ。それでどっちが勝ったの？スパゲッティばい。じいちゃんはしょんぼりとうどんすすっとったばい。なぎちゃんのお家って面白いね。深見ちゃん？なんでもないよ。なんでも。
It can't be nothing. Her forehead's drenched in sweat, and her face is red. Pull.
なぎちゃん。
Oh, it's back. I see. So that's why.
暑くてまともに着とれんばい。深見ちゃんもまくったらよかったよ。
Ain't no way. Mikami cautiously pulls out the chest of her shirt to waft in air. Nagi starts fanning her exposed belly. Fukami twists her body and laughs.
やだ。なぎちゃんってばくすぐったいよ。お腹は弱かと？ならおでこばい。
This time a soft wind blows, like a mother fanning her infant. Fukami closes her eyes and turns to the side comfortably.
涼しい。川よりずーっと暑かけんね。無理したらいけんよ。
That's unexpected. Nagi can be considerate sometimes. Nagi had pulled up her shirt so that Fukami wouldn't have any reservations about cooling off. Nagi's gentle breeze calms Fukami's almost boiled expression. It's not a bad way to cool off. I really can learn from Nagi finding ways to better the ventilation. I write down my thoughts on a memo. While I do that, Nagi continues to fan Fukami in the video.
窓を開けんと助演版たら言うのがまだでも、少しだったら開けて平気って86言うとったばい。
Well, there it goes. That's the most skin you're gonna see today.
でも、開けたら条件が変わっちゃうから。条件？
Fukami gives a small nod. Fukami shyly plays with her pigtails.
条件が変わっちゃったら、最初の時、どうやって煙が入ってきたかわからなくなっちゃうから。Fukamiちゃんよーく考えとるね。
I agree with Nagi from behind the screen. I hadn't expected her to think so hard about this experiment.
ドギャンしてそこまで頑張ると？ドギャンしてって。Fukamiちゃん？
As if being set on fire, Fukami turns red to her neck. Down to her neck.
まだ仰ぎ足りなかと？
Swing. Nagi swings her fan at full force, pushing up Fukami's bangs.
違うよ、ナギちゃん。考えすぎちゃって、熱くなったの。考えすぎって？
What were you thinking about so hard? What were you thinking so hard about?
だから、頑張る理由。つまり、うちのためとかもあるし。熊川下りの？そう。だって、相鉄さんたちが失敗したら、工場が来て、熊川の水汚されちゃうし。それに、うまくいって観光客さんが増えたら、熊川下りのお客さんも絶対に増えるはずだし。それはまあ、わからんでもなかけど。
Nagi suddenly stops fanning.
待って、それならもっと先に頑張るところあるばい。
Nagi declares, sending a confused Fukami's side wandering again.
神ちゃんだってわかっとるでしょ？
Nagi grabs Fukami's face with both hands to grab her attention.
船頭さんたちに帰ってきてもらうように頑張らんと。神ちゃん、ちょっと無理しすぎやけん。別に無理なんて。しとるもん。学園の先生も心配しとるし、期末、神ちゃんにしては成績悪かったでしょ。あれは、ちょっと、うっかりミスとか。やけん、疲れとるいうことでしょ。神ちゃんがうっかりミスばしよるとか。
Ah. That's right. She does the Kuma River downstreaming. Helps with she does the Kuma River downstreaming helps with our work. Right. On top of that, she has her main job of studying as a student. She also has to do household chores. Fukami and Nagi are both young students. I forgot that simple fact. And took advantage of their goodwill. What are you talking about? They're both 18. Wink. I feel embarrassed at my close-mindedness and lack of consideration. But I did eventually realize it. So what do I do? What do I do then? Repay that debt, of course.
86とポーレットとに相談しよう。
Until we solve the smoke problem, 8620 can't be put into operation. On the flip side, that also means we can freely allocate that time.
そうだ。どうしてこんな単純なことに気がつかなかったのだ。
I should make a call or talk to Hachiroku. It doesn't matter which, really. I should talk about it as soon as possible and start moving as early as tomorrow.
今度は僕が、凪と深見を手助けするのだ。
Yeah, but he didn't have this kind. He didn't think about it.
えっと、
He somehow never thought about this in any other route. You know, he was too focused on trying to bone the other characters, and this time he's focused on impregnating two. I mean,
だから、迷惑でなければ、させてもらいたいのだ。
兄さん、ドギャン風の吹き回しと
they don't understand at all. Nagi's remarks and expression make me realize I got ahead of myself.
僕は、というか僕らは、だな。深見と凪に甘えていたことに気がついたのだ。
After talking with Paulette and Hachiroku, we decided to move that test run up for 8620 to tonight. With the free time during the day, I can help them with the downstreaming.
つまりは謝礼だ。もらった善意と労力を、僕なりの善意と労力を持って返したいのだ。
本当に手伝ってもらえるならすごく助かるし嬉しいんですけど、でも
Ukami's eyes wander, as if she's troubled. Nagi looks down and comes straight at me.
なんでいきなり甘えてたとかいう話になっと？
動画を見たのだ。煙問題について何か気づけるかと思い。そうしたら、二人の会話で。
You know, I wasn't really paying attention until I saw the midriff. I mean, Fukami covers her mouth with both hands, slowly turning red.
見たです。そのカメラ、
ああ、見たぞ。客車に据え付けておいたやつを。
There weren't any other cameras, but Fukami looks so worried that I feel compelled to add that statement. Actually, why is she acting so weird about it?
なら兄さんにお腹見られたとね。
Yeah, she's insecure about her midriff, even though we didn't see Fukami's tummy. We only saw Nagi's. For some reason.
お腹？
Oh, that's right. Nagi lifted her shirt up while Fukami pulled hers down. But
お腹が見えると何かあるのか？
何かあるのは兄さんの方ばい。可愛かったと？ドキドキしたと？
nah.
ナギちゃん。
Not with that look. I think back after hearing her question. They were feeling hot, so they exposed their stomach, making them look.
可愛くあったな。暑さにバテる子犬のようで。が、ドキドキはしなかったな。
Yeah, not yet.
ドギャンして。
ドギャンもコギャンも、逆になぜドキドキするのか教えてくれんか。
Nagi puffs out one of her cheeks.
そんなん深見ちゃんが可愛いからに決まっとるばい。ナギちゃん。深見ちゃんみたく可愛いか子のお腹ば見えたらドキドキするのが当たり前たい。
Yeah, but we didn't get to see Fukami's tummy.
そういうものか。
そういうもんばい。
Nagi boldly exclaims, looking at me as if she's gloating.
そぎゃんかコツもわからんやったら兄さんまだまだ未熟ばい。
未熟。
Listen, Sotetsu has had a ton of experience with women. They just happened in different timelines.
もうナギちゃん。
Fukami shouts at an uncharacteristic volume, causing Nagi to jump.
なんで深見ちゃん。お話ね、元に戻そう。そうですさんがお手伝いしてくれるかどうかに。そうだったばい。
She must be really sorry for digressing. Nagi is standing completely upright.
そ それじゃ、兄さんはあの動画で、熊川下りが救急なのを知りよった。
うん。ので、船頭さんを再雇用するまでの間、僕にできることがあれば、手伝いたいと考えたのだ。
お手伝いとか、本当にいいんですか？っていうか、だって、時間を作っても体力とか。
おいおい、僕とて体力的には一人前の男性だぞ。
I roll out my right sleeve and flex. Nagi finds that funny and imitates me, but her arm isn't even half as thick as mine.
力になれるさ。二人にそうしてもらった分、僕にも力にならせてもらえれば光栄だ。
わかりました。そういうことなら。
Fukami stands up and goes behind the counter. She takes out a single vest.
救命胴衣か。
はい。まずは落ちるところから始めてみてください。
落ちるところとは。
I should already know downstreaming and a life vest. My brain's functioning enough for me to deduce from and to where I'd be falling.
そ
I'll
れ
be
で
falling.
大丈夫そうだって思ったら、お手伝い、ぜひぜひお願いしちゃいます。
Whoa! Already?
力抜いててくださいね。
I hear her direction right before I fall, and I quickly relax in response. The life vest immediately pulls me up to the surface of the river.
おー、浮いてきよったばい。
We're just getting full ass on the right side there with extra feet. Listen, I don't even know if I could use this whole one as the CG. I think I could only get like which one? This one. Right? I think focusing on Fukami is like the best, is like the only way I could get away with using this CG. I gasp for breath as I finally see where I am. Did I capsize? Nagi, Fukami, and I are in the Kuma River.
そのまま浮いててくださいね。今、転覆直しちゃいますから。
She shakes the boat back and forth to flip it right side up. How amazing. She then shakes it again to get the water out. And now that's it. And now that it's floating once more, she gets on it and, oh.
なんと、船の床板というのは剥がせるのか。
Just crop it to show Nagi's face as well. Dexter, you do
力抜
realize
いててくださいね。
Nagi's face is right here. I don't need to crop shit. It's already there.
なんと、船の床板というのは剥がせるのか。
Bro did not pay attention to the CG until Nagi's ass was in it.
練習用の何にもつけてない船ですから、簡単に水をかき出せるようにしてあるんです。
なるほどな。
Then that means these things happen quite often during practice. Wait, no. Considering how we're dressed, I should have known without looking at the ship. It seems that they've calculated that capsizing and falling into the water is inevitable.
はい。これで船に戻って大丈夫ですよ。
I was looking down at the small thumbnail. Well, you should have been looking at the CG before Nagi's ass was on screen.
ああ。
How am I gonna do this? Just... Her feet are there too. I'm also reinstalling Amazing Grace to see if there is a sprite gallery. I hope, because I still haven't gotten it. I still haven't gotten a CG library.
兄さん手貸すばい。
I have trouble getting back in the shaking ship. Unlike Nagi, who's already back inside, both Nagi and Fukami extend their hands out to me.
すまんな。
Well, it might unlock if you finish anything. The worst part about Amazing Grace not having a CG library is that I fucking get spoiled because guess where I have to find the thumbnails in a full ass CG library with everything unlocked. And you know what would have alleviated that? If the game had a CG library. After being helped on, my body feels strangely heavy. It's not because I'm drenched with water, though. No, this feeling is most definitely fatigue.
体力を使うものなのだな。川に落ちるということは。
よどみでもそれですから。急流だともっとどうしようもないですよ。
だろうな。
Fukami brought the boat here for practice. It's still water where most of the current is stagnant. The background does the background said otherwise. I can hear the splashing of the rapids behind a large rock.
ですから、落ちた時にはそのままで浮いてください。流されるままなら引っかかる場所はわかりますから。
わかった。心にしかと刻もう。
兄さんの場合は、あれの下探しゃ一発ばい。だね。
Nagi points at the silhouette of Navi in the sky. It's flying above, looking worried. How does it look worried? I'm used to that sight by now, but they seem to find it interesting.
すまんな、迷惑をかけた。訓練を再開してくれ。
This feels uncomfortable. Sort of like parent-teacher day at school. I better move quickly to get those thoughts out of my head.
わかりました。じゃあ最初から教えた通りにやってみてくださいね。ナギ様がフォローするばい。大船に乗ったつもりでやってみるばい。
Fukami giggles to herself and heads to the front of the boat. Nagi stays behind and stands at the stern while holding the oar in both hands.
こっちは見てますから。気にしないで、どんどん漕いでみてください。
わかった。
切っちゃダメばい。練るようにして動かすばい。
切らずに練る。だな。
Rip. I lean down to use my weight to pull the oar. Splash. Right after that, the boat starts moving. It feels like the boat is splashing the water. This feels comfortable.
切らずに練る。
I was rowing hard in a cutting motion earlier, which is what capsized us. So I shouldn't do that, and instead knead. I keep that in mind while I put my weight onto the oar to push it forward this time.
わあわあ、いい感じばい。
And how come we didn't get any? You know what? I shouldn't ask that question, because if we got Sotetsu learning how to use the boat, I guess, knowing how to use the oar in Paulette's route, then this would be redundant. So I understand why they didn't do it.
ほんと上手ですよ。そうですさん。
Blosh. I feel happy being complimented, but start losing my balance as a result. Suddenly, the resistance of the oar feels stronger.
櫓を離してしゃがんじゃってください。
I do as I'm told and sit down without fighting it. Tap. Almost simultaneously, Nagi hits the pole on the base of the river. this is all that's needed to calm the boat down.
なんだ今のは。
深見ちゃんの水青は魔法ばい。船ばトーンってつくだけで言うこと聞きよと。
Pole magic.
魔法か。まさしくそんな感じだな。
Yeah, I've got a magic pole of my own. If you know what I mean.
普通ですよ、普通。水青はそういうものなんです。使い慣れるのちょっと時間かかりますけどね。
炉よりもずっと難しいのか。
って言われてます。炉は3日、貝は三月で、さおみとせとか。
なんだ炉は随分と扱いが簡単なものなのだな。
Yeah, why haven't you learnt it, Sotetsu? Are you an idiot? Meaning, I'm one of the clumsier ones then. I shouldn't get carried away and simply do as I was taught.
いい感じ。そういう風に力まないでいるともっといいです。
力まずにだな。
また力入っちゃった。
ああ。
When I'm told to relax, I can't help but focus on that. When I focus on that, I tense up. I understand the logic behind it, but I can't deal with it. I don't know which part is tense and which part should be relaxed.
兄さん、ロコギは剣術修行ばい。そぎゃんと考えたらうまいこと力抜けるばい。
おう。
Nagi must still remember when she was a beginner. Her advice makes a lot of sense to me. I see. I'm tense. Especially my feet. My toes are trying to help me stabilize by curling up to grip the bridge.
これでは安定するはずもない。
I relax and stop trying to plant my feet. I try to maintain a soft but sticky stance.
あ、いいですよ。姿勢、すごく良くなったです。
I keep my upper torso relaxed. With my fixed stance, I only move my hips to use my lower body as a fulcrum to turn the oar. Pull. Whip.
Hmm.
The feeling is smoother than the last time. The boat doesn't make any splashes, and promptly glides down the river. Pull, glide, pull, glide.
あ、すごい。普通に上手。兄さん、やっぱり心得あるばい。
助言のおかげだ。
Ukami told me to relax, and Nagi taught me to do so by thinking of sword training. Sword training? Either one of those bits of advice were missing from the equation. I probably wouldn't have gotten the hang of it. I need to hear both.
力でどうこうしようなどと思うのが間違いなのだな。川に対して僕一人が何をしようとも。
Yeah, you need to embrace the river. Become one with it. As I say that, I tense up again. The more I focus on it, the more tense I get, causing my balance to go off kilter, past the point of no return.
調子に乗って勢い乱すからばい。
The boat tips, my body slides off. Blue. When I relax, I quickly float to the surface. Relaxing is easy once I let go of the oar. And yet, even the smallest thing can easily cause me to tense up. I should dive down to cool my head off. As I'm doing that, something comes close to me.
で、どうですか？そうですさん。
なあ。
I thought I capsized the boat, but Fukami managed to stay up and regain control of the ship. She used the pole to navigate her boat over next to Nagi and me.
どうとは何かだ。
お手伝い、大丈夫そうですか？
大丈夫か。
Fukami looks worried, though I'm not sure why.
この程度なら 何ほどでもない。大丈夫だ。もとより、苦労は覚悟できたのだしな。
それなら。
Fukami lets go of the pole. She clasps her hands in front of her chest like she's in a prayer.
私、そうですさんに、川下り、お手伝いしてほしい、です。
ありがたい。これからよろしく頼む。はい。
She jumps off the boat, jumps off the bow of the boat, and spins once before hitting the water.
Oh.
Wow. Like a kingfisher hunting for fish. Fukami dives beautifully into the water. I don't think she should be diving into knee-deep water.
なんとも見事な。おっ！
カッパフカミの攻撃ばい！兄さん、ここは手を組むばい！カッパじゃないもん。
待て。
I might need to censor the feet.
待ちませんよ。
No.
She swims behind me and dumps water over my head.
何よ。
そうですさんは川の怖さを分かってません。分かってないから動きが思い切り良すぎちゃう。
Fukami's words feel strangely deep to me, like her name. I feel her voice echo off the bottom of the river. A sudden chill runs down my spine.
だから怖さが分かるまで少し川遊びに付き合ってください。
いや、さすがに遊んでる暇などは。兄さん、
これも修行ばい。
Is having your ass constantly on screen part of the training as well?
修行、つまりは訓練か。
そうですね。私を捕まえたら合格ってことで、早く捕まえれば時間の節約にもなりますよ。
So it is part of the training. In that case, it's inevitable. It's true that the way Fukami moves makes her one with the river. If I can manage to chase her and catch her, it should be easy to control the ship.
ならば。
Flash. I try to catch Fukami while she swims away, but I lose my balance.
くそ、この救命胴衣が。
無理じゃダメ。条件を同じにするために私も来ますね。
ナギ、手伝え。
待てって言われて待つようなバカおらんばい。も
う。だろうな。
でもですね、そういう風に甘く見ちゃうと。
I wasn't wearing it correctly, causing it to get in my way. For a brief moment, I realized that I've made a foolish choice. Fukami disappears into the water and I'm grabbed by the ankle and dragged to the bottom of the river.
これで救命胴衣の大切さが分かりましたか？
わかった。十分に。
なら今度はちゃんと私にもつけさせてくださいね。
She just has fucking floaties on her arms. I nod. I get back Fukami's life vest and head to Nagi, while she's putting hers on.
救命胴衣は抵抗でもある。深見を船に近づけず、休ませず、持久戦へと持ち込もう。
了解ばい。いい作戦ばい。深見ちゃんは泥仕合とか好かんけんね。
What do you mean by that?
よし、捕まえた。
Nagi jumps up with both hands in the air to celebrate. She's all smiles. I think it's only natural we took so long to catch Fukami.
これで上がれるばい。ヘトヘトばい。
だな。
Despite being in the river, I feel so tired that I can almost sense myself sweating. I suddenly get a strong urge to lie down on something cool.
そうですさん。
Fukami's still in my arms, and her neck is starting to turn red. I notice and quickly let go. It doesn't matter how young of a student she is, even though I'm touching her through her life vest. It's not proper to hug a young woman in a swimsuit.
ああ、残念。
Right when I was about to apologize, Fukami moves away from me and turns around. Perhaps she's mortified that she got caught. She looks very disappointed. It also seems like she's enjoying it. It also seems like she's enjoying it though. Yeah, she was enjoying getting fucking hugged.
じゃあ、上がりましょう。
Perhaps due to my adrenaline rush fading after catching Fukami, I suddenly feel extremely tired. But the moment I let my guard down, I'll be washed by the current. I see. This is how scary the river can be. I feel like I learned my lesson from Fukami's training as I return to the shore.
ほれ。
ありがとうばい。ただ酒は最高ばい。コーンポタージュスープじゃない。
That's That's a new background. Nagi and Fukami each hold the hot can of soup I gave them with both hands.
本当にごちそうになっても。
ごちそうというほどの金額でもない。迷惑でなければ飲んでくれ。
迷惑だなんて。いただきます。いただきまーす。うまかー。腹渡に染みたい。
本当だ。自覚していたよりもさらに冷えてしまっていたようだな。
Black tea is unsweetened, but it still feels good as it seeps through my body. It's warm, a comfortable kind of warmth.
まだそうですさん、流れに逆らっちゃってるからですよ。それで体力余分に使って冷えちゃったんです。
そうだったか。そのまま浮くよう心がけたつもりだったのだが。
そのまま浮くを、そうですさん、その場で浮くって頑張ってますから。
I don't understand the difference. Fukami just giggles as she continues on.
よどみの中にだって流れはあります。だから、そのまま浮いてれば流されるんですよ。
ああ、ならば僕は無意識にその場にとどまろうとして。
はい、流れに逆らって、だから疲れちゃったんですよ。
なるほどな。
流れに逆らったらいけんばい。疲れた挙句、やっぱり流されるだけになるけん。
I experienced that firsthand. Nagi's words have a sort of depth that's very convincing.
流れに乗るのが流れを制するただ一つの方法。流れと一つになってその勢いを生かすんですよ。
確かに。よどみの中にあってもこれほど消耗を強いる力だものな。
Thinking about that makes me even more tired at the same time.
おっと。
お腹減るばい？減ったばい！
Nagi picks up on my stomach growling.
お肉食べたかばい！河原でバーベキューしたかとばい！バーベキューの道具なんて持ってないよ。
いや、それはいいのではないか？
それって。
だから、河原でバーベキューだ。例えば、川下りの後のオプションとして。
That by itself isn't bad, but if we can tie it in with the tourism train, I sense some potential in it. For example, we can use the coal from 8620 to ignite the fire.
兄さん？そうですさん？どうかし しましたか？
I grab Fukami's hand. I swing it up and down in a handshake.
そうだ、それだ、バーベキューだ。バーベキューと流れでいけるかもしれん。
What?
何が
煙だ。煙の問題だ。流れが制御できんものなら、制御可能な流れを作り、ぶつければいい。
Ain't no way, my brother and This is the same solution. Isn't this like the third time we've come up with the same solution? I don't know if it's possible to do. So it'll need examining. But I get the feeling that this direction is the way to go.
二人のおかげだ。ありがとう。
I embrace them both and rub them on the tops of their heads. Nagi with my left hand and Fukami with my right. Their hair feels different, but their shampoo smells the same.
言うならば、そう、バーベキュー列車。
How do you
煙を制する列車だ。
How do you know what their shampoo smells like? Were you not in the water all day? Are you saying that are you saying they showered just before? I guess that's what he's saying. Maitetsu. This feels shorter. Right?
ご乗車ありがとうございました。
I have trouble even hearing my own voice. The storm outside erases the sound of 8620 on the blast, practically washing away the Ohituyo station platform.
ご乗車ありがとうございました。
I've never driven in bad weather under normal circumstances, let alone while running the barbecue train.
ご乗車ありがとうございました。
Smoke overtakes the passengers' faces when they bear witness to the veil of rain. The smoke from the barbecue and the sound of everyone's cheers made them oblivious to the outside weather while on the train. There was a forest of a typhoon approaching, but I don't think the weather would get this bad. Didn't think the weather would get this bad. I worry about Hibiki since she's at school for a special art lecture. At worst, she said she'd just stay over at the boarding house at school. It'd probably be safer like that in this weather. In that case, Hibiki would be okay. I switch mindsets and focus on the ticketing.
ご乗車ありがとうございました。の
What's that? A family's child is waving goodbye at me while smiling. It's not in my nature, but I can't ignore that.
ありがとうございます。どうぞお気をつけてお帰りください。
ありがとうばーい。
Nagi shouts in my ear. I turn around to see her head sticking out of the cab while waving wildly. I see. The child was waving at Nagi. That's awkward. Hibiki and Reina are popular among animals. What? But for some reason Nagi is extremely popular among small children. Because she is also a small child, even though she's meant to be 18. And despite being led away by the parents, the child turns back every few steps, looking back and waving again and again. It's their first time meeting too. Amazing how well liked she is. I leave Nagi to handle herself as I put my hands back and resume ticketing.
ありがとうございました。と。
終わりばい？
Nagi descends from the cab and peeks into the passenger car while asking. I follow her gaze and confirm her words.
うん。全員ご下車くださった。
Even the family is gone from the platform now. Usually, they would line up to take photos, but not today. I wonder why. With weather this bad, I'm sure everyone wants to head to safety as quickly as possible.
ねえ、どぎゃんして兄さんが切符受け取っとったと
86は足回りの点検にすっ飛んでいった。
それは見とったばい。手ブレーキかかったらすぐ大きい方の体に取り替えとったし。
ポーレットもホームの安全確認を終えてすぐ僕に検察を頼んでレールショップに戻ってしまった。
Nagi looks surprised at my response.
レールショップで何かあっと？
補強だそうだ。レールショップはガラスを多用しているからな。
ああ、ガムテでも貼っつけっとかね。
まあ、その類の作業だろうとは思うが。
Something feels off. It's similar to how I felt earlier after hearing Nagi's words.
力仕事なら僕がやろうかと申し出たのだが、検察の方を任せたいと言ってしまったのだ。
はあ、そりゃそうばい。
ん？
A triumphant look from Nagi.
なぜそりゃそうなのだ？僕が作業、ポーレットが検察の方が適材適所。
兄さん、女心分かっとらんね。レールショップはポーレットさんの家も同然ばい。
I mean, yeah, considering that in two routes, she retires from being mayor to run the rail shop.
だな。
I have no choice but to nod. It's true that I don't understand women. The rail shop is indeed like Paulette's house.
家
Home.
の掃除ば手伝われるのは恥ずかしかとよ。見られたくなかようなもんもいろいろあるけん。
Like... stuff.
ああ、そんなものかもしれんな。
Hibiki doesn't like showing me her room either. I figured that out a long time ago, so I purposefully don't visit her there.
ナギほどサバサバした性格でも、そんな風なら、ああ、いや、というか、大丈夫か？
大丈夫って何がばい？
美濃笠鍛冶店さんだ。あそこも随分と年季の入った建物だろ
大丈夫ばい。じいちゃんだけじゃなく、今は父ちゃんも帰ってきとるけん。
She looks happy, speaking of which, I've never heard about Nagi's parents.
う。ナギのお父様は、
I didn't even know she had parents.
システムエンジニアたい。今年中は今治に単身赴任でお仕事ばい。
おお、家事とは関係のないお仕事なのか。
やろか父ちゃんやけん。日作り土もきっと持ち上げられんとよ。
Yeah, but do you remember what the town is called in Amazing Grace? The town in Amazing Grace doesn't have a name. You've got the Aurora, which is just the ice wall, and then you've got the city that they are in Hokkaido, which is Ashoro. But that's the thing though. It's not technically Ashoro, right?
そうなのか。
Also, imagine how embarrassing it is that your granddad is a blacksmith and you are too weak to be a blacksmith, even though you're like 40 years younger. How old is Minokasa though? He'd probably be like 60, 70, around there. She made it sound like an insult, but Nagi looks delighted when talking about her father. A sense of envy hits me.
年季ば言うたら、兄さんとこの酒蔵の方がよっぽど古かとばい。
右田の蔵も全く心配ない。手入れを欠かさぬし、人手も足りて。
My eyes meet with Nagi's.
だよな。深見は大丈夫だろうか。
I mean, yeah, Fukami would be hit the most, considering she lives right next to the river.
電話してみればい。
Hardest, I mean. Nagi pushes some buttons on her cell phone and puts it to her ear. 5, 10, 15 seconds pass.
ああ、おばちゃん、なぎばい。深見ちゃんはおっと？
相鉄様。
Feeling the tug at my sleeve, I turn around to find Hachiroku completely drenched.
大丈夫か？というかすまん。傘の一つも差し掛けてやればよかったか。
いえ、お気持ちだけで十分です。雨がっぱさえ役に立たないこの風雨ですので。
なあ、言われればだな。
The wind grows stronger, practically blowing the trees next to the track sideways. I'm sure an umbrella would be blown inside out too.
それより、
Hatsuroku turns to Nagi. She tilts her head to the side in a questioning manner.
深見にだ。この風、川下り線の方は大丈夫かと。
Maybe I should mention it as the town. The best way you could refer to the town in Amazing Grace as would be the Aurora, right? Or the town inside the Aurora.
わかった。ほんならまた後で。
Honestly speaking, it's probably better to not include spoilers in the description, alright? Nagi's phone call ends. After hanging up, she walks a bit closer.
深見ちゃん困っとるみたいばい。兄さんも手助けに向かうばい。迎えると？
I turn my head and Hachiroku answers immediately.
私の方は大丈夫です。この子にも幸いにして異常はございませんでしたので。
そうか。ならば、後のことを。
はい、お任せください。
であれば、すまんがよろしく頼む。ということだ。僕はいつでも。
Before I can finish my thought, Nagi pulls me by the hand.
なら行くばい。
I was planning on saying it was an isolationist town.
すみません。車も出せずに。
That's probably good then. You know. Also, are they in fucking storm shelter? Or something? Fukami bows apologetically, like Hachiroku said. A raincoat really is useless in this weather. Even Navi's evacuated. Nagi and I are drenched just from moving about.
何を言う。車がないのは、関さんたちが今日も補選をしてくれたからじゃないか。
The car's already working for us. Fukami's grandfather and his brothers do maintenance so that 8620 and Kiha 7 can run every day.
この天気の中でよく、むしろお礼を伝えたいのだが、関さんたちはまだ。
はい。そのまま向かって、今、湯の井の発船所で船を上げてます。なら、こっちの船はこの3人で避難させなきゃまずかとね。
Fukami finally relaxes a little after hearing Nagi's words. So I was thinking of having Yuza be an outsider like in the VN. Or should make that part of the greeting instead. Just like in Uta's chatbot, the user is basically replacing the main character.
そうなの。一人じゃどうしようもないから、来てくれて、ほんと助かったの。ありがとう。
Like, the visual novel, Amazing Grace already has Shu as a self-insert, so the chatbot just makes him more of a self-insert by not even giving him a unique name.
何を今さら、水草かよ、深見ちゃん。
そうだ。僕らは仲間ではないか。
はい。ですけど、やっぱり、ありがとうございます。
She bows again deeply. It makes us feel a bit distant, so that irritates me a little.
いや、まあ、ともかく動き出そう。
The entire dock is now wet. The river water is rising and starting to seep into the room.
これ以上天候が崩れんうちに急いで。
ダメです。段取りをしてからじゃないと、濁流の音で会話もできなくなっちゃいますから。
ああ。
Fukami's words make me realize I was getting impatient. We had enough trouble talking at the platform under a roof. So if I want to do something with the user being from the town, then it would be best to do that as an alternate greeting. Yes. If we went straight to working on the dock, it's true that we'd be confused without a plan.
了解した。ならば、手順を説明してくれ。
はい。おじいちゃんたちがいないから、重機は使えません。だから、船は人力で引き上げます。人力でって、そやんことできっと？
That sounds very dangerous.
コロを用意してあるから。
Fukami points behind her to numerous logs stacked on each other.
コロって何ね？損キキレがコロ？
そうだ。学園で習わなかったか。ピラミッドの石を運ぶのにも使われたものだと。
Fukami nods while Nagi shakes her head. They're classmates, but if she doesn't know, then there's no helping it.
運びたいものの下側にコロを入れ、動かす。後ろのコロが出てきたら、また前に差し込む。
Nagi's eyes glitter with recognition when I draw her a diagram.
なるほど！これなら簡単に運べそうだね！面白そうばい！やってみたかと！大丈夫。嫌になるくらいやれるから。具体的には6層分。
階段脇のスロープを使ってあげるのだよな。しかし、階段まではどうやって？
川の水位が上がってますから、階段の下の方はもう水の中です。
Normally the space of the dock is wide enough for an entire boat. The approach to the stairs has a slope, so that means the water level has gone up 2 meters.
そこまで切迫してるのか。
ですから、私が船に乗って誘導します。そしたら、ナギちゃんがコロを挟んで、ソーテスさんが引く。
She must have prepared it beforehand. It's an organized plan, but...
それだと、船に乗るまでは、川の中を歩くことにならんか。
友綱を伝えますから、行けます。命綱ももちろんつけますし。
危険だ。深みの負担が大きすぎる。
If the water's up the stairs, that means there's enough footing to step on. If someone needs to ride a boat, Fukami's the only one who can handle it. I could just move the boat by hand under those conditions, though.
友綱で船を引っ張り足場まで運び、そうして僕が下から押し上げてやる方が。
そりゃ無理ばい。
Instant rejection from both Fukami and Nagi.
なぜ無理なのだ？
100% バランスを崩すからです。
Would Auroran Town be a good name? No.
流れに足場すくわればい。
いや、ナギや深みの体重ならば簡単に流されてしまおうが。
体重とかの問題じゃないです。運動神経の問題でもなか。もっと水量の少なか時でも簡単にコロンコロン流されてしまいよるけん。
まさか、ナギがか。
Nagi surely has more athleticism and a better sense of balance than I do. The situation of Nagi being pushed by the current is extremely difficult to imagine.
そうばい。だけじゃなくて、深見ちゃんも深見ちゃんのじいちゃんたちもばい。
専門家でもか。
水量が極端に減った時には、航路を確保するために川の中に入っていって、岩をどける作業をするんです。
No matter how deep or dexterous the veteran boatmen are, some would still trip and fall. I'm then calmly told how dangerous and difficult it is to exert strength in the river.
だから、川の中で作業するとき、体力とか運動神経とかは安全を保証してくれません。
After declaring that, Fukami takes out a sturdy-looking rope.
命綱がついた状態で逆らわず流されて助けを待てる。それができない人に川の中での力仕事は無理です。
了解した。
If I slip and get washed away by the river, I will definitely panic. If Fukami and Nagi are on land, they won't be able to pull me up by my lifeline.
では、深見が川でコロへと船を誘導する。ナギがコロを移動させ、僕がゆっくり引き上げていく。
はい、それでお願いします。あと、簡単な手信号を。
I'm taught some hand signals, and then I put on the chest waders, a life vest, and some rainwater. Rainwater? Rainwear.
よし。いつでも大丈夫だ。
なら、行きましょう。
Fukami's voice seems more confident than usual. The sense of reservedness she usually has is gone.
1にも2にも安全に。危ないと思ったら、自分の体を最優先にしてください。
Yes. The violent storm is intense. So intense that it feels like I'm being lifted off my feet. The rain comes in sideways, stinging my skin. I close my eyes by reflex and slowly open them to find the Kuma River. The water is being thrown around by the storm as it rises by the minute. The stakes holding the stern lines and the concrete dock is almost underwater. Whoosh. Nagi holds the small logs used for the roller while being pushed by the storm's gust. I quickly help her up after being knocked over and shout close to her ear.
這うようにして運んでいこう。
Raindrops filled my mouth in the short time it took me to say 7 words.
これでは地上でも転びかねない。
わかったばい。
Nagi bends down while I stand over her to block the rain and wind the best I can. Being close together lessens the force on me too. It could be that the ground itself is blocking the wind.
この辺でよかったわ。
だな。あまり水面に近づけすぎるとコロまで飲まれてしまいかね。
We place some stones on the first step of the stairs to create a simple dam and place the rollers behind it.
全部でいくつ持ってくと？
The more rollers we have, the easier it is for me to bring up the boats. Of course, it also makes Nagi's job harder, causing her to fatigue. It's a catch-22. We should limit it to the bare minimum.
6個。いや、5個でいい。4つで使って、1つが予備だ。
わかったわい。
We get pushed by the wind on the way back. I get a sudden urge to laugh at how easily I'm being blown around. I carry the rollers out to the steps again. It's the second time and I'm still not used to the painful rain.
これでよかった。
With the rollers ready, Nagi turns on the flashlight to draw a large ring. Standing next to the water, Fukami sees that and starts carefully going into the river. Is her lifeline? Okay, it is. It's tied from Fukami's hips to the railings on the stairs, but that side is far from reassuring. The wind violently blows, causing Fukami to wobble in her footsteps.
ひどく川たい。
ああ。
The muddy stream sometimes has foreign objects floating in it. Fukami goes past the stern line to the boats wavering like a leaf. Her usual speed is gone, instead replaced by caution. Fukami positions herself next to the boat.
乗ったばい。
よし。
Fukami places one hand on an oar and uses her other to give us a signal.
やるぞ、ナギ。
わかっとるばい。
We put another rope on the stern line of the boat Fukami's on. We then affix it to the railing on the stairs. and we slowly reel it in with all the strength in our bodies.
こりゃ、きつかばい。
無理をするなよ。足を滑らせないようにしろ。
Even with the concrete steps, the storm's enough to make me lose my balance. I realized that my suggestion of going into the current and pushing up the boat was a mere fantasy.
深見ちゃん、さすがばい。
なあ。
She's more stable in her stance on the boat than on land. The boat is reeled in through the roaring rapids with every exertion of strength.
うまいぞ。そうだ。その調子。
Fukami's positioning the Orwell in the rapids, even as it heavily bends.
ナギ、コロについてくれ。深見が来る。
了解ばい。
Knock. The bow of the boat hits the concrete steps. Fukami jumps off the boat and ducks under it with Nagi.
お願いします。
Fukami, I'm not hearing any urgency in your voice. I feel a sudden weight on my hands. Facing backwards makes it hard to pull, but I'm on the stairs. Since I'm on the stairs, I have the rope over my shoulders with the boat and river to my back as I slowly move forward. Pull. I didn't see that. Suddenly, the resistance lessens. The boat's on the roller. This is easy. This is easy. If you ask me, this ancient technique is quite something. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I can even check back while doing this. I wrap the rope around my waist, then 180 degrees, to turn 180 degrees and pull the boat while checking on Nagi and Fukami. Pull, pull, pull. One step at a time. I pull it carefully up the steps. Nagi and Fukami move the rollers one by one as the boats climb up the slope.
よし。
We get past the slope and finally stabilize the boat on flat land. That's one. There are 5 more.
そうでした。次、行けますか？
無論だ。ナギは。
任せろばい。
I'm sure we're all acting off pure adrenaline at this point. The fatigue I felt before is mostly gone. We have to get this done no matter what. Everyone here understands that.
なら、行きます。
All 3 of us.
気をつけろよ。
The storm isn't letting up. I expected the work to get easier with more experience, but I get more tired with each boat pulled up. Yeah. No shit. What's this? My gloves starting to slip. Gloves are starting to slip. It must have taken too much strain and stretched out. They're fitting loosely, and I can't get a grip. Inside the gloves are filled with sweat and rainwater, giving off a steamy feeling. One wrong move and they'll slip right off. But there's only one boat left. Once Fukami brings the boat closer, I'll pull at the stern line and that'll be it. And your gloves will slip off, and that's when the tension starts to rise. I rile myself up by dumping out the water in the gloves and fixing the fingers. Okay, I think it's better now. I look up and realize something. I haven't heard anyone say anything for a while. Everyone's silent while performing their driftwood. Fukami pushes the boat around away from the black object, but the movement causes her to lose her balance.
いかん。
I jump at the lifeline immediately. I use my entire body to cover it and pull. Did I lose my strength? Or did I pass out? The fully extended lifeline unleashes a force much more intense than the weight of the boat. Well, yeah, because you're fucking... you're fighting against the current. I sense a burning smell. The force is dragging me toward the river. Life and death do battle within my hands. My body shakes remembering that day. Michiko. I was small and weak back then. I couldn't hold both Michiko's in my life at the same time.
大丈夫だ。
Pull. I secure my grip by wrapping the lifeline around my own body before reeling it in. Quickly, but steadily, I'm careful with my force to make sure I don't slip.
大丈夫だ。大丈夫。
I need to get Fukami out of the water, but if I go too fast, I might get thrown into the water myself. I say that over and over again in my head, so that I won't let go of the weight in my hands, no matter what.
大丈夫だ。今度は絶対。
Fukami's weight is the weight of her life. I will not let go. What a transition. Flash.
ああ。
Looking at the ripples in the bathtub makes me think about water itself. What a sentence. Yeah? Looking at bro. Looking at water makes me think about water. It harshly tore through us earlier, but now it warms and heals us.
生き返る気分とはこのことか。
Also, thank God I remembered to get rid of. Thank God I remembered to take off the patch because the towels wouldn't be there if I kept it on. It takes effort to force myself to talk. I feel so tired that I don't even want to breathe.
兄さん、背中流してあげるばい。なぎちゃん、私がするから。そうですさ、私の命の恩人なんだから。
Nagi and Fukami are in high spirits. I'm sure they're tired too, but it doesn't seem that way.
はしゃがず休め。明日おそらくひどいことになってしまうぞ。
Oh, do you know what would be terrible? The fucking DOMs that you'll be experiencing in your arms.
はい。お背中流したら、のんびりします。兄さん、かっこよかったけん。映画の主役みたいやったぞ。
いや。
Like, I'd be surprised if he wakes up the next morning and he can move his arms. It's true that it was an extremely dangerous situation. I had no choice, but both Fukami and Nagi seemed to be elated after surviving that dangerous situation.
僕など何もしてないさ。深見の命を救ったのは深見自身の準備の良さと経験だ。
いいえ、そうですさんが引き寄せてくれたから、私、今こんなに元気でいられるんです。そうばい、あのままなら体ば冷え切って危ないし、また流木やらぶつかってきよったかもしれんもん。
Their eyes sparkle as if they're dreaming.
迷いなく、すぐに行動してくれたから、私、助けてもらえたんです。そうばい、男の中の男にしかできんことばい。
Even though Nagi isn't a man, she did the same thing I did. But she's a tomboy, I don't know what you expected. A few seconds after I grabbed the lifeline, she joined in and pulled with me.
だから、私、少しでも恩返ししたいんです。兄さん、背中流させるばい。
Like puppies after a bath, they run laps around me. Seems like stopping them is hopeless. The only way is to give them what they want. Flash.
わかった。ならばよろしく頼む。
頼まれるばい。だからなぎちゃん、私の命の恩人だから。こっちにだって親友の命の恩人ばい。
That isn't as impactful as say Nagi, I hate to break it to you, but that's not as impactful as what Fukami said.
ああ、仲良くしてくれ。 お前たち二人に争われては、僕が辛い。
I think it's the pain in your arms you're talking about. They both suddenly become quiet. They stare at each other in silence.
兄さんは
They speak at the same time. It's rare for Fukami to be the one to continue.
そうですさんは、その方がいいですか？二人仲良く一緒の方が。
What do you mean by that? Bro, considering that this is a fucking route where you have to, where you date both of them, what do you mean?
もちろんだとも。
わかりました。
After saying that, she nods, but then stops suddenly.
なぎちゃん、どうしよっか。仲良くばい？そしたら、そうばい、半分こして洗うばい。半分こ？
Fukami turns red. I have no idea why, but tears well up in her eyes as she glances at me.
半分こって、なぎちゃん、どっちの半分がいいの？
Fukami, not like that, alright? That's after the route, alright? Not during it.
どっちでもよかとよ。右でん、左でん。そうね。半分。うん。右半身と左半身。他にどぎゃん半分があっと？ないよ。それじゃ、私、右半分のお背中、洗うね。
You remember the school name in Amazing Grace? You've got Saint Aria Academy. And then you've got Civetta. And then you've got Cheek. However it was spelled.
なら、左分もらいたい。
They both take a washcloth and lather up some soap.
それじゃあ、洗います。ね。
You know, I've already said this before, right? But Sheik is basically the elementary school. Yeah, that's why I did it in that order. Saint Aria is the high school, Civetta is the middle school, and Sheik is the elementary school. Fukami is the most perverted character in this game. Which is crazy, because if you think about it, if she was in any other visual novel, she would be tame. Right? You've got Hachiroku and Reina, who, like, barely talk about anything lewd, right? You've got Hibiki and Nagi, who are very much too, innocent, right? You've got... well, okay, Paulette might be close, but she gets more flustered when it comes to, like, romance shit, and her mind doesn't really, like, go further than that. Unlike Fukami, which always ends up, like, overthinking things, especially when it comes to Sotetsu, because I wonder why. always defaulting to, like, thinking about lewd stuff. And then, you know, you've got Kisaki and Makuta, which are like, they're too mature, right? They're like the opposite of Nagi and Hibiki. Squish, I mean.
洗うばい。ゴシゴシするばい。
Scrub.
No.
It feels strange. Because even though they move their towels in the same rhythm,
かゆいとことかあったら言ってくださいね。こすってほしいところとか。
Yeah, I've got a place in mind, but it's not on the back. I mean, god damn it. Also, I'm adding Sister Lily as a side character. As the leader of the town and schools. I mean, if you're gonna do that, then you have to add every other character. Squish, 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 crick.
言いたかったら言うばい。特別に緩めてあげるばい。
What are these fucking sounds? Scrub, scrap, crunch, crack. Do I? Of course you do. If you're adding a side character, then why are you not adding the main characters, excluding Shu?
Oh.
My right half feels like it's being caressed with silk. My left half feels like it's being beaten by a cotton swab. The different sensations roll down my back, feeling both odd and comfortable at the same time.
あれ？この汚れ。よいしょ。兄さん、汚れ落ちなかとよ。いくらなんでも汚しすぎばい。
I just wanted to add a random students and teachers. The random students are the main characters. The random teachers is one teacher named Sister Lily.
仕方なかろう。石炭汚れを落とさぬままに、川の汚れまでつけたのだ。
That's why I came all the way to Todoro Hot Springs, even in the rain. Though I do feel melancholic thinking about walking Nagi and Fukami home from before returning.
あれ？これ、汚れじゃないの？
What is Fukami talking about?
ほんとばい。兄さん、肌荒れしとうと？
ああ、それか。
Usually only Hibiki or Hachiroku would wash my back, and they already know my circumstances. This was careless of me. Oh, right. Speaking of which, I never told these two about my past.
それは、皮膚の移植の後だ。過去に、怪我をしたことがあってな。
I'll do brief descriptions for the other main characters. Yes. It's better to make a law book if you're including other characters.
怪我って。
最高の病院に連れて行ってもらったそうだからな。上手だろう。注意してみれば、ほとんどわからん。
Flash.
おっと。
I feel something soft on my skin after they dump more water on me. Nagi's squishy finger is tracing my scar.
怪我って、こぎゃんとひろかと？
なあ、鉄道事故でな。死んでもおかしくなかったそうだ。
鉄道事故ですか？いつのことばい？
小さな頃だ。今の凪と深見より、もっと幼かった頃。
Well, yeah, because they're 18. Right? Whether it's due to the hot bath or fatigue, the bubbles on my back feel like they're washing away something besides dirt. It flows gently, allowing me to tell these two of my past and my accident.
というわけで僕は右田の養子となった。そして、お人よにやってきたのだ。
そうですさに、そんなことが。じゃけん、兄さんはあんまり。
ん？
In a rare turn of events, Nagi clams up. It feels like she's looking for the right words, a scene that gives me anxiety.
どうした？聞きたいことがあるなら答えるぞ。
兄さんは、じゃけん、あんまり笑ったり怒ったり、泣いたりせんと？なぎちゃん。
Fukami nervously speaks up, pulling more focus onto what Nagi said. I see. I never really paid attention to that.
確かに、泣かんな。怒ることもまずないか。笑うのは、そこそこ笑ってはいると思うが。
No, you don't.
よし、決めたばい、深見ちゃん。
Flash. Nagi wildly dumps some water from a pail onto her own head.
深見ちゃんと二人で兄さんに泣いたり笑ったり怒ったりさせてあげるばい。はあ、いい。それ、すごくいい。
Fukami nervously covers her mouth with both hands. With a covered mouth, she cautiously asks.
もちろん、そうですさんが迷惑だったり嫌じゃなかったりだったらですけど。
嫌でも迷惑でもないぞ。大歓迎だ。
やったばーい!
Why are they so happy? Fukami takes Nagi's hand and smiles widely. Seeing them like this makes me a bit envious deep down. Cry, laugh, and get angry. If I've forgotten how to do so, I want to remember. Honestly, I do. Then that would make you a better character. You know what, Sotetsu? I like your thinking. And if Nagi and Fukami are with me, I get the feeling that's possible. Maitetsu. Don't make Yuji and Guido gay. Okay? Leave that up to the user.
Come
on, Fukami. Nagi is in a different outfit. Why? How come you aren't? Dexter, if you're gonna change the characters, then just don't add them. They ask, so I tell them about my past. This has become a daily occurrence after helping with the downstreaming.
レポートを移させてやって、それで終わりだ。お礼に食事をと言われたが、別に食には困ってないので。
断ったと？
なあ、さほど大したレポートでもなかったしな。
Nagi turns her head to the side in an exaggerated way. Fukami also looks troubled for some reason.
さぎゃん付き合い悪くてよく兄さん友達できたとね。
Dexter, I think you're overthinking this. Yuji and Guido would never contribute to NTR unless you write it that way. You do not need to specify they aren't looking for a relationship.
なぎちゃん。
まあ、向こうも慣れ合うのを好まぬ性質だしな。タイプが似ていて、得意分野が違うゆえだろ
う。The moment I say that, I realize something.
するとむしろ、利害で繋がっているのかな。向こうが友達だというので、僕もそうだと思っていたが。
お話聞いてると、利害だけとかじゃなさそうかなって。きっかけなんて何がどうでも関係なかったよ。友達だと思ってるなら友達ばい。
そうか。
The words make me feel relieved. I don't think it matters too much whether I have friends or not.
ならば僕には、帝大に、少なくとも一人は友達がいる。
っていうことはですね。
Kami makes another troubled tone as she goes through the pages in her memo.
ソーテスさんの友達関係は小さな頃にはたくさん。それからしばらくいなくて、帝大で一人で。
ああ、それで間違いない。
I purposely made it ambiguous to Fukami, but I do think I've changed since the accident. The number of friends someone has is a reflection of how strongly they want to be involved with others.
間違いないなら、なぎちゃん。なんね、深見ちゃん。
They put their foreheads together and start whispering. Nagi makes sounds of agreement numerous times. After a while, she turns back to me and stands tall.
わかったと。これで大体見えてきたわい。
ほう、何かだ。
何って、兄さんを泣いたり笑ったり怒ったりできるようにする方法
そうか。そういえば、そういう話だったな。
There were so many different topics over such a long period of time that I just answered out of habit. The reason this questioning started was because these two wanted to know how to do that.
で、具体的にはどんな方法？
それは、シューグ、もうちょっと内緒でいいですか？うまくできるかわかりませんし。
別に構わん。では、うまくできそうになったら教えてくれ。
はい、もちろんです。もちろんばい。
Fukami and Nagi both seemed to be filled with excitement. Seeing such huge smiles, I start to look forward to what they might do for me. What they may do for me.
ではな、また明日。
はい、ソーテスさんも夜のバーベキュー列車頑張ってください。その隙にこっちもこっちで頑張っとくばい。
So, like, how does this transition into them wanting to date Sotetsu?
これは、響の絵だな。
It's like, this is the last chapter, maybe, unless for some reason Nagi and Fukami gets an extra chapter.
はい、お願いしたら喜んで引き受けてくれました。
I mean, we're not even halfway through the chapters, so, you know, maybe.
早く見ればい、開ければい。
ああ、
Scene, I guess. As to do so, I open up the small guide titled Ohitoyo Special Field Trip. Inside of the detailed schedule, as well as a warning and notes for the trip.
これは、本当に修学旅行風だな。
じゃなく修学旅行ばい、本物の。お人よのことを改めてソーテスさんと私たちとで勉強できる旅行にしたいなって。
なるほど。お人よを学ぶ修学旅行か。
楽し
Nagi appears to be pink from head to toe in anticipation.
ならば差し詰め。僕は引率教師の役割。
みばい。違う。
Oh. Two shouts overlap. Nagi and Fukami glance at each other. And then Fukami takes the lead to speak up.
ソーテスさんも学園生です。引率なんて立場じゃなくって、私とナギちゃんの同級生。
同級生？僕がか。
そうばい。兄さんは留年生ばい。
留年か。
Ain't no way. I'm a bit too old to be considered a classmate.
随分と落第を重ねてしまったのだな、僕は。
仕方なかばい。
I said that as a joke, but Nagi answers seriously.
兄さん全然勉強しとらんもん。
いや、勉強だけは随分としてきたつもりだが。
そういう勉強のことじゃなくって。修学旅行ですから、自分でいろいろ発見するのもきっと素敵な勉強です。
Fukami interrupts. Nagi looks surprised and stops herself from uttering what she was about to say. She suddenly moves closer and pulls my hand forcefully.
そうばい、修学旅行ばい。楽しんでたくさん勉強するばい。
うん。
Learning more about Ohitoyo will surely help in getting the factory to withdraw. Oh, right, that's what the main goal of this route was. And all of the other routes. Setting aside whether I can have fun, I should just look at this as a positive thing.
まず最初は。
お人よ一の腕利き鍛冶屋、美濃笠鍛冶店さんからばい。
Do you have a link to a law book guide? Or do I not need a format? You just use the same format. You just use JED. She's a student on a field trip. After all, she purposefully didn't say I'm back.
はい、いらっしゃい。
But to a spirited call out, old man Munakasa receives her with a smile.
いらっしゃい。修学旅行は楽しかったですか？
Seems like Munakasa knows the circumstances. Fukami looks relieved and bows.
楽しみたいって思ってます。今日は包丁作り体験よろしくお願いします。
Hey, that's what Paulette and Sotetsu did together as a date thing, okay?
はいはい、そんなら。
Don't replicate it with Nagi and Fukami. Munakasa gives the three of us each a block of steel in a rough outline of a kitchen knife.
今機械はベルトハンマーいうもんです。
It's exactly what the name suggests that suggested it is. It is. There's a motor attached to a belt on some gears. The movement of that is connected to the hammer.
こいつば使って仕上がりのイメージに伸ばしてください。そいば削って焼き入れして研いで包丁にしますけん。
Minokasa sits down in front of the machine to step on the pedal in order to start the hammer's piston. Still block below, then gradually flattens and takes shape.
一番にやるばい。どうぞどうぞ。
お手並み拝見させてもらおう。
見習うとよかばいよ。
Nagi steps on the pedal, and it goes many times faster than when Minokasa did it.
踏み込みすぎだろう。
I don't think stepping on the pedal harder means that it goes faster.
勢いをつけすぎたばい。
She's too impatient. She then slows down the hammer, making the steel sound like a gong with each hit. Seems like she just can't get it right. Nagi turns her head to the side, trying to figure it out.
ひょっとしてなぎちゃん経験ないの？中ばいよ。初めてばい。
Nah. As if to defend her old man, Minokasa forces a smile in agreement.
真剣は欲しかけど包丁にはそれほど興味なかったけん。
Nagi, you're too small for a katana. It would be taller than you. She says that in the past tense. Her face right now is serious. She gets the hang of the rhythm, as evidenced by the sound and speed of the hammer becoming more uniform. I'm not doing that. The hammer falls at a good pace. After a while, Nagi finally lets go of the pedal.
焦げんとでよか？
でかいな。そして長い。
The steel block is supposed to be for a santoku knife, but Nagi's looks like a longer sashimi knife. Well, yeah, she hammered it so much that it flattened further than expected. She said she wanted one, so I'm sure she went for something similar to a katana.
僕は最後にしてみたい。深見、先に行けるか？
はい。そうですさんがそれがいいなら。
Fukami slowly moves to the machine and sits down. I immediately notice the difference in posture compared to Nagi. Nagi sits down roughly with her legs wide open. In contrast, Fukami keeps her legs together. Sotetsu, I think you need to realize that Nagi's a tomboy.
これ難しいです。
It shouldn't be that surprising that she'd sit wide-legged at this point. wide stance, however you'd say it. The way she steps on the pedal is also different. Careful or nervous would be more accurate. The hammer also makes jerky movements, like a shy child.
深見ちゃん、それじゃ日が暮れるばい。予定先、回りきれんようになるばい。ごめんなさい。
いや、そこは気にせず取り組んでくれ。
This is fun to watch in its own way. Besides,
無理に工程を追い、薄い思い出を重ねるよりも、一つだけでも濃い思い出がある方が楽しかろうしな。
okay, here's my issue, right? They are shaping a steel block, which means that it is hot as hell, which is pretty dangerous, right? So Nagi was fine because she did it quickly. Mikami going slow about it isn't going to work out well because it's going to cool down before she's able to shape the knife, right? Something like that. She nods. If Mikami's shoulders drop down and her movements become more natural. More bonking.
Ah, よかったですね。
You did not need to move the camera up and down. This is very nauseating. If Mikami's movements are more precise, so precise that old man Minokasa mumbles to himself about it. Her hand moves the steel block fluidly as well. I don't think you should be handling a steel block with just your hands.
こんな感じです。
これは綺麗だ。この時点でもう、おおよそ包丁の形だな。
ありがとうございます。
Yes, and you wouldn't have been able to shape it with a hammer press if the steel block wasn't scorching hot.
なんだか悔しくばい。
I think there are some issues I'm seeing here.
さて、僕か。
Seeing Nagi and Fukami do it, I have an idea of what to do. I have to stay relaxed on the pedal and keep it level. Oh, only 3 bonks this time.
No.
Actually, doing it is completely different. It's quite difficult.
兄さん不吉いね。同じとこばっか叩いとるばい。なぎちゃん。
I've been noticing a pattern. Whenever Fukami tries to help, she often just finishes people off. What? My steel block is flattened, and as a result, getting wider.
か、もう少しだけまんべんなくやるとよかですな。
ああ、助かります。
Unable to watch any longer, Minokasa holds the block for me to maintain the shape of a knife. Sotetsu, did you not realize that Nagi and Fukami moved the steel block around so that each strike would be hitting a different part of the steel? I was freezing up back there. My body must have been afraid. The striking and burning of iron, the sounds and smells. But if they see me uncomfortable, it'll make things awkward. It's true that I'm not used to it, but let me get away with a white lie.
うん。イメージ通りにできた。右田の台所には広場の包丁がないのだ。
Right.
それ、歯じゃなくて胴が平べったいだけばい。なぎちゃん。
包丁の価値は見栄えより切れ味ですけんね。大事なのはここからですばい。
Bro, listen, it's only a knife if it has a sharp edge. If it doesn't have a sharp edge, it's just a block of steel.
そうですよね。
If Minokasa says so, I'm sure I could make up for it with its sharpness. The next machine is a spinning whetstone. It's a large round grinder that is partially immersed in water.
面白そうばい。一番。あ、これ結構あれ？
こう。 かな。うん。
My body moves in an agile way. I can show off my experience if I move accordingly. I'm sure the quality is better than Nagi's or Fukami's.
兄さん人が変わったよ、バイ。
Well, the thing with a whetstone is that you need to make sure that the edge is flush with the stone, right?
さすがです。本来の実力発揮ですね。
さてどうだか。途中経過がたとえ良くとも、仕上がりが悪くては意味がないしな。
Once I make the shape, Minokasa takes and tempers it inside his kiln. Once the tempering is done, he then goes to the belt sander and forms ridges alongside the face.
いやいや仕上げの旗毛ばい。研ぎならいっつも手伝うとるけん。
Nagi sits in front of the whetstone as an example and turns to the faucet.
お
Turns
う、
on the faucet.
言うだけのことはある。
She maintains the same angle on the whetstone and quickly moves her hand back and forth.
こうかな。
なかなかこれも難しいものだな。
I try to do it the same way, but the sound is different. Nagi makes brisk grinding sounds while both mine and Fukami's make intermittent crunchy noises.
研ぎが済んだらエバつけますけん。
It'll then be finished, having been made by Minokasa's own hands. He must be fixing some imperfections as he hammers and sharpens it a little before putting a white wooden handle on it. Knock, knock, knock. He puts a rivet through the handle on the side opposite to the blade and...
できた。投げ包丁第1号ばい。はあ、嬉しい。自分で作った包丁なんて。
なかなかどうして仕上がってみれば包丁だな。
当たり前ばい。包丁作りしとったけんね。
切れ味はまあこがんもんです。
They're all blunt. Minokasa takes out 3 tomatoes. I thought he was going to test it, but I don't see a cutting board anywhere.
ああ、上に向けてもらえますかね。
Yeah, he's gonna throw the tomato into the knife.
はあ、上ゴギャンと
はい。
Pop.
すごい。
おお。
With the blade facing up, he drops the tomato from above and... he's above the knives. It cuts clean in half. I can't help but express my surprise.
はいはい。
Pop, pop. He drops in on Fukami's and mine too. The sharpness of them is just as impressive. Nagi called it the Nagi knife. Okay. I kind of have the urge to name it too.
水気があると錆びますけんね。そこだけは気を使ってあげるとよかですよ。
I mean, it is made from steel. It isn't stainless steel, so it'll oxidize. He puts the knife in a box and packages it up. Nagi gave Fukami the box to put it inside her knife in her bag. Minokasa was about to say something, but just shook his head.
修学旅行の皆さんは次はどちらに向かわれますかね。
I open up the guide to check. I see the usual name.
右太一酒造元さんです。
Okay, so now that you've made your own knife, you have to go to me, the #1 brewery, to make your own shochu.
ああ、あそこも面白かとこですね。学園生さんならシンバーできんのは残念でしょうが。
I can't even make the joke of them being 18 because the drinking age in Japan is 20.
やむねばあるけん大丈夫だい。
God damn it.
そがんとですか。
Inokasa continues to deal with Nagi as a customer instead of his granddaughter. I should be like him and act like a student on a field trip when I'm at Migita No.1 Brewery.
なら気をつけて楽しか旅行ば送ってください。
Okay, thank God they didn't have a scene with them going to Migita No.1 Brewery and sampling fucking ramune and shit. Because, like, I'd be like, okay, I get that you're doing this tourism shit to convince the factory to not build here, but, like, you didn't need to drag this out that long, alright? So, I'm glad they didn't do that.
どぎゃんしたと兄さん食べ過ぎよったと
But why are they in their swimsuits?
いや、
And why do they not have full sprites of them in their swimsuits? For no reason. Although it's true I ate more than usual, that's not the reason I'm in pain. Breeze from the river dries my sweat, finally cooling me off a bit.
そうではなくだ。
Market at No.1 Brewery seems different from usual. The barbecue train pulled by 8620 is operated by Hachiroku with Paulette and Hibiki as her team.
食べ過ぎじゃなくてどうしましたか兄さん、なんか喉に詰まったみたいな顔しとるよ。
詰まっているか。確かに少し詰まっているような感じはあるかな。
What are you feeling? When I admit it, it feels better for some reason. Words naturally come out of my mouth.
皆が何かよそよそしかった気がしてな。無論、僕たちを客として扱ってくれたのもあろうが。
The way old man Minokasa treated Nagi was like that of a customer while maintaining his kindness as her grandfather. But Makoda, Hibiki, and Hachiroku, and for some reason Paulette too,
遠慮というか、積極的に関わろうとしてこないというか。
they could not pull off the act, all I'm saying. Perhaps they know why. If Fukami draws her breath, turning red immediately. Nagi looks at Fukami and nods in agreement.
なんだ、二人にはわかるのか。
そりゃわかるばい。
ん？
I thought it was just a reflection of the sunset, but even Nagi's face is red. Nagi doesn't continue her thought, merely glancing over at Fukami instead.
今日一日私たちと過ごしてどうでした？
どうとは。
You know, how was your date, Sotetsu?
いろいろあるばい。いろいろ。楽しかとか、ムカついたとか、退屈したとか。
楽しかったぞ、単純に。
Fukami breaks into a smile. Nagi also looks satisfied as she starts nodding again.
楽しかったし、あとは、そうだな。普段と違い、いろいろな顔を見たような気がする。
いろいろな顔ですか？
うん。顔というか、表情かな。人の表情の移り変わりが、いつもよりずっとよく見えたような気がする。
It applies to everyone, but especially so for Nagi and Fukami. Nagi was cheerful throughout, while Fukami remained cautious. I got to see them in a completely different way.
確かに、修学旅行だったよ。いろいろなことを学べた気がする。
だったら、
Fukami closes her eyes and looks down. She then slowly lifts her head.
だったら、続けてみませんか？これからも、私たちと、修学旅行。
ん？
Continue.
例えば、枕投げなどか。それは確かに楽しそうだが。
Bruh.
いえ、そうじゃなくて、それもすごくやってみたいし、 楽しそうですけど。
けど
ですね。
I'm captivated by Fukami's eyes. Her strong will makes her look mature. The setting sun is a graceful red hue. In a graceful red hue, painting a shadow on her black hair and accentuating her beauty.
私たち、そうですさんのことが
What?
なんです。
What? Out of nowhere, bro.
私たち言うのは、深見ちゃんとうちとの言葉へ。
Nagi's bright red. Her usual cheeriness is gone, replaced with a meek expression. Completely different from her usual boyishness. So he does realize she's a tomboy. Then why do you keep fucking pointing out her tomboy behaviors? She has a girlish sense of transience.
それは、ありがとう。
What do you mean? What? Even I can tell that the like she mentions is different from, say, my like of carrots and kittens. Okay, a weird combination. Maitetsu finds tomboys hot. I mean, I do, and I'm the self-insert, so, like, of course he does. But I'm not unsure of exactly what sort of like she's feeling.
ありがとう。好きと言ってもらえることは、とても嬉しい。
Bro. This is why in fucking Kisaki's route and Makuda's route, he had the talk with Hibiki. This is why Hibiki sat his ass down and was like, "Hey, do you love the ex-girl?" And then he's like, it took him like a fucking however long to realize, actually, I think I do. And it didn't happen this time because Kisaki, because Nagi and Fukami aren't friends. What? They aren't best friend / sisters with Hibiki. Even so, Fukami continues to talk.
だからですね。そうですさんにはそんなにギューって我慢しないでほしいんです。
我慢。
I look into Fukami's eyes, and then to Nagi's. They're both worried and restless, yet they have a warm look about them.
我慢したから、僕は留年生になったのか。
They stopped role playing as students, bro. As those eyes shine on me, my heart and heart seems to unravel. And it's in that moment that I understand.
だから泣いたり笑ったりで、だから修学旅行だったのか。
Yes. And in fact, Sotetsu, it was not. You could actually call it something else other than a field trip. You know, something like a date. I'm so confused. Well, maybe if you paid attention to the stream like a good mod should, you would have known what's going on.
そうだい。兄さんはそこんところは勉強し損なってるけん。
そうだな。
The meaning sinks in further. The experiences I have missed out on were made up for partially by Nagi and Fukami today.
なるほどな。
Nagi's and Fukami's lives are filled with the joy of living. When I was that age, all I did was exist, barely managing not to not die.
とても大事なものを僕は勉強し損ねたのか。
Me and Sotetsu are similar. I never studied romance and dating IRL, just in fiction. Yeah, but your parents are still alive.
し損ねて なんかなか。これからするため、きっと取っといただけやけん。
Are they? I mean, maybe. Did they? I've only heard about you. I've only heard you talking about your mum, so I'm not sure I live under a rock.
あ
Nagi's statement guides me, even if I can't go back to do it over again. Even if I can't go back to do it over again, I could start anew here. I could start here and continue on.
ですから、
Being urged by Fukami's tone, Nagi stands up. I see them both atop a boat, together for the first time.
修学旅行、続けたいんです。そうですさんと、なぎちゃんと私と、3人で。兄さんのこと、水筒よ。
We learn together and grow up together. Nagi and Fukami cover for my lost time. That would certainly be fun and enjoyable, but that's not exactly why I can't answer immediately. Bro, fuck off!
嬉しいが、少しだけ考えさせてくれ。即答できることではない。
即答できないって、どうしてばい？年の差ですか？それとも、なぎちゃんと私と3人だからですか？
You know, it makes sense, right? That a difference in age would be a concern, but like, this is never a concern in any other visual novel. All right, that's all I'm saying.
だって兄さん言ってくれたばい。深見ちゃんとうちと喧嘩しとったら落ち着かんって。
Each nod I make alters their expressions. I realized that was an ambiguous response, and quickly follow up on it.
年のことも、3人のことも、確かにある。が、それは大きな問題ではない。僕は養子で、右田に体温あるものだ。
After saying that, I realized the possible deep-seated reason. Because I've had this sense of guilt, I think I've made things awkward with Makoto and Hibiki. You think?
我慢というか、それだけではない。単なる我慢を、僕は重ねてきたのではないのだ。
Had I not tied myself down with duty, I would have become rotten to the core. Following my duty gave me a purpose, a positive outlook on life. And also, Paulette gave you a positive outlook on life. That's a fact, and I'm grateful for that.
それだけではないから、考えたいのだ。大事なことだと思うから、時間をかけて、慎重に。
I mean, of course he can't say yes.
あれ？にーに、帰ってきたと？
He can't say yes. Look at how much visual novel we have left.
なんで日帰りの修学旅行なんて。
なんだ、珍しいな。飲んでいるのか。
A liquor bottle in the living room. Hachinoku has her usual expression, but Makoto and Hibiki both look panicked.
飲むとよ。そりゃ、涙酒で祝い酒やけん。
涙酒の祝い酒。
それよりそうちゃん、ドギャンして帰ってきたと？発船所にお泊まりいう話じゃなかったと？
ああ、そうだったか。
I open up the guide, but that's not written here. It just ends with the Kuma River downstreaming. I guess it doesn't note trip ends either, though.
まあ、そうだったとしても泊まれんだろう。なぎも深みも嫁入り前だ。妙な噂になってはいかん。
妙な噂でございますか？
Bro. A crunching sound with that remark. Hachiroku talks while eating coal. Look, it makes sense for Hachiroku not to realize, right? But fucking Makuta and Hibiki both had came to the same conclusion that it was going to that their quote unquote field trip was going to end with both of them confessing to Sotetsu. They just didn't realize he was so dense that he would think about it instead of just accepting it.
珍しかとね。そうちゃんがそぎゃんかこつ気にするとか。
まあ、珍しいな。気にするというか、せざるを得なくなってしまった。
なになにそれ？どげん意味？
Hibiki holds out a glass. For a second there, I thought she was being considerate by offering me a drink, but that wasn't it. She's just drunk.
気持ちだけで結構だ。話すなら、シラフで話したい。というか、シラフで話すべきことと思う。
Hibiki puts down her own cup and straightens her posture. Hibiki, Makuta, and Hachiroku, the three of them look at me seriously.
実は、好きだと言ってもらえたのだ。ナギと深見と二人に僕が。
さようでございましたか。
They all sound convinced, allowing me to relax. Makuta has her usual smile as she asks me something slowly.
好きって言われたっていうのは、恋人になってほしかってお願いされたと？
いや、恋人とは言われなかった。望まれたのは、修学旅行を重ねたいと。
AKA, yes.
二人から一緒に？
うん、そうだ。三人一緒の修学旅行だ。
あらまあ。
She whispers how cute. Makoto looks at me through her now empty glass.
で、そうちゃんはなんてお返事したと？
考えたいと。待ってほしいと。
そぎゃん答えは、もう答えばい！ニーニがそこ断らんとか！
ああ。
I step out of it as the volume of Hibiki's voice. Step out of it at the volume of Hibiki's voice. It seems that Hibiki knows me better than I know myself. Yeah, she's also a girl, so she understands how Nike and Fukami feel about you.
そうだな。僕は、そうしたいのだ。そうしたいのだが。
Especially because Hibiki feels the same way about you.
したかことなら、すればよかとよ。
She says it so simply.
しかし、僕は右田の。
そうね。そうちゃんは右田の長男。で、お姉ちゃんの可愛い弟。
Makoto softly interrupts me.
お姉ちゃんは、そうちゃんが、弟が幸せになってくれたら、嬉しかけんね。
She understands everything and lets me know that that what I worried about is insignificant.
妹もそうだよ。同じたい。ニーニーが幸せになったら嬉しかったよ。
You know what was also insignificant? The fucking factory. This is the first route where the factory played zero role in this in the route. Yeah.
私はもちろんのこと、常に相鉄様の幸せを願うものです。
They brought it up like it was gonna mean something. Nope. Hibiki shouts out competitively while Hachiroku politely smiles.
わからねえ。響。86。
Yeah, you've got three perfectly good girls here, but instead you go after the youngest girls, who are 18, I swear. You know. I feel like they've pushed me from behind gently so that I can take my next step. even though Hibiki is around the same age, the issue of them be the issue of Hibiki and Sotetsu's age difference never came up. I can now go anywhere. The moment I think that, I realize something. I've always been able to go anywhere I wanted. Nothing has ever bound me. I think you should have realized that when you left Ohitoyo and went to a different school for university. The duty given to us was not to keep me bound, it was to hold me together. To remove the support, the chains. I didn't want that. Just the thought scared the hell out of me. But right now, I can stand on my own 2 feet. I can walk with my own will. Nagi and Fukami gave me what I wanted, what I needed.
ありがとう。行ってくる。
I won't stand still anymore. I'll go where I want in a straight line.
ナギ、深見、いるか？僕だ。
そうてつさん？ああ、兄さん止まってくれると？なぎちゃん、まだ開けちゃったねえ
No, open the door. I mean...
修学旅行を続けたいと思ってやってきた。
God damn it, why do they have clothes on? I mean...
それって今日の続きばい？それともこれからずっと？
これからずっとを続けたい。ナギと深見と3人で。
大歓迎です。あ、深見ちゃんずるかばい。
おっと。
I catch Fukami and Nagi as they jump onto me. I think we've connected emotionally. But that's not enough. It's never enough unless I say it out loud.
つまりそれは僕が2人を好きだからだ。
Yeah, but like, why couldn't we have gotten this with fucking Hibiki and Makuta, alright? Just because Hibiki's a main girl doesn't mean she can't also be in Makuta's route. She was also in Makuta's route. Her confession made Sotetsu go for Makuta. They look up at me in my arms. Fukami a surprised look. Nagi a slightly bashful smile.
だから一緒に学んでいきたい。お人よのこと、これからのこと、お互いのことをできるだけ。
Hibiki and Makuta is flat as justice and MILF. Exactly. The best of both worlds. And they ruined it. They had a good thing, but they just had to blow it up.
ならずっとばい、全部ばい。そうだね、なぎちゃん。
Flat as justice. I was referencing Breaking Bad, but you wouldn't know. That's a live action show you would have never watched. Fukami giggles a bit. Actually, you know what? I'll just show it, alright? I'll just show the reference. No? Fuck you. I'm gonna do it anyway. The first thing that shows up is not even from the is not even like the actual clip. It's a green screen effect of it. Hang on. Oh, right. You're scaring me. It's fine, okay? Look, just this is what I was referencing, okay? God damn it! I clicked off this meme.
It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego.
This is me talking to the devs who made fucking Maitetsu about the Hibiki and Makuta route that could have happened.
You just had to be the man. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
I need to watch the rest of it. See? Do you get it now? That's why I'm pissed. Anyway, back to these two. Yeah, I guess. You say I guess because you don't like MILFs. Fukami giggles a bit. I don't know if I already said that. While smiling, she puts her mouth close to Nagi's ear.
あのさ、なぎちゃん、そうですさに。
She spoke words, game. You didn't. That is not how. That is not the translation. She said words.
なんだ、ずるいぞ。僕らは一緒に学ぶのだろ。
Fuck. What? What? Hang on, I'm gonna go back. The translation. It's...
あのさ、なぎちゃん、そうですさに。
It just says, Nagi, Sotetsu. Right? You know, and then the rest of it is, I don't know, it's just whispers.
なんだ、ずるいぞ。僕らは一緒に学ぶのだろ。
I want to hear what they're saying. Nagi comes close to my ear and... What? Both of them? Hang on. Warm and soft from both sides by Nagi and Fukami.
兄さん、嬉しかった？公平にって思って、それで。
And this is what you missed out on, Dexter. You only picked Hatsuroku's route when you could have also had Nagi and Fukami. But no. I'm not gonna do it again.
なるほど。公平に。か。
I received both of their first kisses. I hugged them back with all my heart, fairly. But just how they wanted it. Right. So that was Nagi and Fukami's route. It was one of the routes of all time. If I just look at Fukami and Nagi, I can't tell who I want more. That's why you get both. So like, you don't need to decide. You get both of them. But it was serviceable. I lean more towards Fukami though. Okay, so I don't know why they did this. I mean, I understand why, you know, for the lolly lovers, but you know, that's what Hachiroku and Reina are for, right? You know, I liked seeing that side of Sotetsu when he saved Fukami, right? That was good. I don't know why. I don't know why the credits make it look like they fucking died and gone to heaven or some shit. Why are we at the fucking gates of heaven? I mean, like, look, I don't think there was an organic way for Sotetsu to get with both of them in a okay, no, there is a way. I just don't think you could do it in 3 chapters, right? You had to rush it, kind of, right? Because at least with Makuta and Kisaki, they already liked him. It's more like we didn't get that vibe from either of them because they're both mature women who can hide their feelings well, I guess. Organic way? Well, like, it's more so Nagi and Fukami are both from the river. An organic, I'm saying in organic way in them developing feelings for Sotetsu in a way that would be realistic. And it was kind of rushed, right? Like the only 2 heroines. Kisaki was just once. What do you mean? I mean, look, I get it, right? They had that climactic scene with Fukami and Nagi where Fukami was saved by Sotetsu and stuff like that, right? So I guess that's where you could have said that she developed feelings for him there. But, you know, I think my reaction speaks for it when I say their confession came out of nowhere. Right? there was, you know, they had this quote-unquote tour thing, which they state as for the not building of the factory or whatever, which had no role in this route. Actually, I lead toward Nagi, of course. She's smaller, and she's got a more Kyrie personality, aka she's a tomboy. Extroverted. That too. Look, I like Nagi and Fukami, but am I going to change them on the rankings? Probably not. I think they're as good as they can be. That's the best they can get. Unfortunately. Look, I was going, I was like, what are they going to have for the CG, for the title screen, right? And I was like, there's literally only 2 you could have gone for, which is this one, right? Or this one. And of course they go for this one. God damn it. It's just best title screen. I mean, it's definitely the most lewd. The developers are based, right? Look, their route kind of has a similar problem as Makuta's and Kisaki's route, in that they are too short, right? So I can't dock them on that. I have to compare sub-character routes. I can't compare them to fucking Hibiki's or Hachiroku's routes and shit like that, right? They're too long. Well, too long compared to Nagi and Fukami's route, right? They are good length. For how the writers went about it in, okay, they only got 3 chapters, scenes, I guess, to develop Nagi and Fukami's feelings for Sotetsu. They did a good job. Alright? That's about the best I can say with it. You can see the indented slit. Yeah, there's something there. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a follow would be appreciated. And if you want to support me even further, you could always subscribe. Next time, we will be playing more Amazing Grace, but for the YouTube frogs, like I always say at the end of every route, I will see you guys in the next route, aka Raina's route. But you know, tomorrow I will be streaming more Amazing Grace. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye-bye. Maybe I should get rid of the... Bye-bye.